Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel Lessons at Fingertips. Here we discuss on some important topics in really simple words so that it's easy for you all to understand and keep things in mind. So today our topic of discussion is a very important part in the strategic management theory. So this is called as Pestel framework, okay, and this comes under the strategic management. So you see, as you all know, I have already discussed what is a making of strategy. What kind of business you are going to set up? What are your expectations from the business? On the basis of that, you create some strategy. And to fulfill that strategy, you follow some steps. So we are never going to mix the steps that are followed to achieve the strategy with strategy, right? So that I have already discussed in my previous videos. So now we are going to discuss a theory, a framework, an analysis of this strategic management, and that is called as Pestel framework. So what does this term Pestel means? Pestel includes 6 different factors. What are those factors? First one, P stands for political. Political. All the political factors. E stands for economical factors. Economical factors. And what are these factors? Pestel framework includes all the 6 factors that basically affects our business framework externally. Okay, so all the macro factors, okay, external factors that affects our firm's environment. Got it? So Pestel analysis states all the external factors, all the external forces, macro forces. These are all the macro forces, 6 macro forces I am listing down. S is for socio-cultural. Socio-cultural factors. Okay. T is the technological factors. Technological factors. E is for ecological factor. There is economical factor and ecological factors. And the last one is legal factors. Okay, so these are all the 6 factors which affects a business environment externally. External factors are this. Okay, so the general environment of a firm is affected. So all these factors can create opportunities as well as they can create threat for the business or the firm. Okay, they can create opportunity or they can create threat for the firm. Got it? So this is basically the Pestel analysis. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to take a brief description about all these 6 factors, how they actually affect the business environment. The first one, okay, before we start with the factors, let's describe another bullet point, that is, the model provides a relatively straightforward way to scan, monitor and evaluate the important external factors and trends. So there are many external factors, but here we have categorized only 6 different factors. Okay, why? Because these are the most important macro factors, macro forces that generally affects the business environment. So through this Pestel analysis or Pestel framework, we can scan, monitor as well as evaluate all these 6 factors based on which the business environment gets affected. The first one is political factor. Political factor, very simple thing, how government influences a business or a firm's environment, right? So how does that happen? This happens by imposing non-market strategies like lobbying, public relations, contributions, legitimations and so on. Okay, so this way, even like there are this maybe small hotel companies, okay, like Oyo or Goibibo I am saying. Many times it happens, there can be some new companies like that who takes hotels on rent. So these people, the people who actually are the owners of the hotel, they can sometimes impose or tell government that they are not ready to sell or rent their hotels to these kind of companies because they are not getting that much of revenue from it. So for this, they can urge the government for it, right? So then government can actually impose some law that this should be the minimum, rental charges that the company needs to pay to these hotel owners. This kind of imposition, this kind of application of new, forces by the government, these are the political factors that affects the business. Okay, there can be many other laws that are to be imposed by the government. So these are the political interruptions, political forces through which government can actually enter into the market and which will affect the general environment of the business. Got it? So that is the political factor. Next is economical factor. This is a very, very important factor. Every one of us know that what does this economical factor includes? The growth rate. What is the growth rate in the economy? Isn't it? The employment rate, level of employment. Yes, employment rate in the economy. Okay. If there is inflation or if there is economic growth, if there is high level of employment, definitely the business will be flourishing. Isn't it? So the level of employment, the interest rate will determine whether the business is going to invest somewhere or they are not going to invest, whether they are going to take loans or they are not going to take loans. So all these things depends on the interest rate, the price stability. Many times it happens that the market is having very fluctuation of prices. So the business needs to think about this. They need to impose the money or the prices that they are charging in the market in that way. Okay, so that they can, match with the fluctuations that is happening in the market. So price stability, currency exchange rate, whether they are going to import, export, that again depends on the currency exchange rate, right? So these are the factors under the economical factors that will determine, the general environment of the business or the firm. So we are considering the economical factor. The third one is socio-cultural factor. Let me tell you what is this socio-cultural factor. It actually captures society's cultural norms and value, the demographic trends, what kind of population is present in a particular region, what are their tastes and preferences. You see the kind of population in the south is definitely different from that of north. Their tastes and preferences are different, right? So whatever is the best seller in the north might not be the best seller in the South India because the tastes and preferences are different. The kind of population is different, isn't it? So based on the locations, based on the areas, based on the demographic trends includes population, the type of population, their tastes and preferences, everything. So based on this, based on the culture, based on the values, based on their norms, we are going to see the socio-cultural factors. All these things comes under the socio-cultural factors. So, a business which is flourishing, suppose the atta, if I am saying, Annapurna is a brand. So, they are having different types of atta. So, the kind of atta which is prevalent in Bengal will not be prevalent in Rajasthan, will not be prevalent in the North India. Their preferences are different, right? And that of in Bengal, it's different. Okay, so this kind of thing, based on the region, based on the area, the business needs to change its products. Correct? So that is the thing, that is the socio-cultural factors. Next is technological factors. Another important thing, if the people or the workers or the business is not that much developed, if they are not ready for the application of knowledge to capture new processes and products, that is measure innovation. How are they going to innovate? Based on the regions, based on the type of population, with time, innovation is something which is very important. Okay, so technological factors plays again an important role. Next is ecological factors. What does that imply? Pollution, sustainable growth. These comes in ecological factors. Broad environmental issues, natural environment, global warming, sustainable growth. These things comes under the ecological factors. You must know that nowadays these natural environment or environment friendly activities, these are the things which are given too much of pressure. Okay, these are the central points that the business, whatever business you are starting, you must show that how are you good for the environment also. What are the good things that you are doing for the environment? Is your business harmful to the environment or not? Because these are certain important factors which must be taken into consideration nowadays. So the ecological factor is what? Basically broad environmental issues. How is the business dealing with it? If your business is dealing with something that is becoming a harm for the environment, definitely it's not going to be allowed nowadays. Isn't it? There are a lot of different laws behind that. Okay. So coming to the laws, we come to the legal factors. Whatever the political issues were there, manifestation of all these laws will come under legal factor. Official outcomes of the political process, that is manifestation of laws, mandates, regulation and court decisions. All this comes under the legal factors. So when you read all these 6 factors, you can understand, yes, these are the 6 different, external forces, the macro forces that actually does, affect the general environment of a firm. Knowingly, unknowingly, these things are going to affect the decisions, the strategies that we are going to take in a business, okay, to run a business. So this analysis of all these 6 general factors comes under the Pestel framework, which is under strategic management. So the basic thing is, while you are making strategy for a specific business or firm, you need to take into consideration the macro factors that are going to influence the general environment of the firm. So that's it. Okay, so I hope you guys have liked this video. Please do hit like and subscribe to my channel for more such informative videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.